Well, it's a very warm welcome and thank you for joining me on this independent off-tube studio commentary. It's the second half from the Brentford Community Stadium as Brentford and Brighton are goalless at the start of the second half. We only saw one goal across all the Premier League 3 o'clock kickoffs in the first half. That was a goal from Cristiano Ronaldo in injury time, which put Manchester United one up against Newcastle. All the other 3 o'clocks in the Premier League are currently goalless. We are underway in this second half. I'll remind you of the two teams. For Brentford, David Raya is in goal with a back three of Christopher Ager, Pontus Jansson and Ethan Pinnock. The two wide men are Sergi Canos and Rico Henry. The three across the middle are Christian Norgard, Shandon Baptiste and Vitali Jano, with Brian Mbeumo and Ivan Toney as the two up front. For Brighton, Robert Sanchez is in goal. They've gone to a back four now after Adam Webster's injury, so it's Joel Veltman, Shane Duffy, Lewis Dunk and Cucurella. Then the four across the middle are Leandro Trossard, Adam Lallana, Yves Bissouma and Jakub Moder, who came on for the injured Webster, with Danny Welbeck and Neil Maupay as the two up front. Brentford in possession inside their own half, but pressing there from Bissouma, putting pressure on the pass back towards goalkeeper Raya. Long clearance from Raya now finds Toney. The flag stays down. Brentford are on the attack now after that ball. Referee looks across to see if there's an offside. There is no offside. Toney's ball into the box, headed down by Lewis Dunk before it's cleared away by Shane Duffy. A duo which at one stage was broken up last season. Looked as though Duffy might have been on the way out with his loan spell at Celtic, but very much back in the Brighton fold now. And it was his clearance that puts the ball out for a throw to Brentford down the left-hand side. Need to see an improvement from both teams, really. Brighton would say that their possession stats were good, but just need to do more with it. Brentford, as the home side, really sort of just tailed off a little bit at stages in the first half. They need to do a little bit more here, and it's a throw to Brentford now down the left-hand side. Henry to Toney, back to Henry, lifts that ball into the 6-yard box, far too close to Robert Sanchez. Comfortable save from Brighton's Spanish keeper, and he just waits for his teammates to get a bit further forward before bowling this one out towards the right-hand side for Joel Veltman. Veltman then back in towards Duffy and Dunk. As the visitors just slowly but surely now playing out from the back. Just to remind you as well, of course, the late kick-off in the Premier League today is between Chelsea and Aston Villa. 5:30 kick-off also available on this service, as is tomorrow's Premier League offering. Leeds United at home to Liverpool. I myself will be on championship duty earlier tomorrow with the 2:30 kick-off, I should say, between Nottingham Forest and Cardiff City. Leeds v Liverpool coming up at 4:30, and then the final game in the Premier League on a Monday is between Everton and Burnley. And, looking forward to see how the Champions League fares up this season, of course, with the first round of games coming up this week as well. But back here at the Brentford Community Stadium, it is Brighton on the attack. Moder down the left-hand side, looks up, has options, lifts a ball into the box, and it's straight to Raya. And he puts his hand up in apology there, does Moder, because he had a couple of other options there as well, but decided to just lift the ball into the box, which was just a bit too easy for David Raya. Now he plays out from the back and immediately putting Christian Norgard there under pressure. Brentford insisting on playing out from the back, despite the fact there are four Brighton players at the edge of the Bees box. And now a long clearance eventually from Raya, and now it's Veltman who's under pressure there from Mbeumo, having to turn before sending the ball down the right-hand side. Does well there, Veltman, headed down by Trossard, and now it's Welbeck who lifts the ball looking for a Maupay. The header from Ager wasn't as precise as it could have been, but then he's brought down by Leandro Trossard. That's disappointing from Trossard. That's a bit of a bailout there for Ager, really. He dealt with the initial threat by heading that ball away over to the side, and then as he's getting towards the ball, that's minimal. I mean, you could argue that in this current climate of referees supposedly allowing a little bit of contact before blowing the whistle, I think you could probably say that Ager was quite lucky to get that free kick in his favour. But goalkeeper Ryan now waiting to take this free kick. 15 minutes gone. It is goalless between Brentford and Brighton and Hove Albion. Christian Norgard with the header now for the Bees. Baptiste with the header, but that goes straight through to Cucurella. And now it's Yves Bissouma in possession for Brighton. Plays that ball back towards Shane Duffy. Duffy into Lallana. Cucurella now, the left-hand side. As Moder carried on his run, is he going to get there in time? He's not. The ball just out of play as Moder was chasing it down the left-hand side. Throw on to Brentford. Just a quick glance across the scores elsewhere. Still no change, just that one goal in the Premier League in the 3 o'clock kickoffs, and that was a goal from Cristiano Ronaldo, giving Manchester United the lead against Newcastle. Going out to Brentford down the right-hand side. Ajer to Canos. Canos under pressure from Cucurella. And immediately the ball goes out of play for a throw to the visitors. Taken quickly by Cucurella. Finds Moder. Moder, though, runs straight into Christopher Ajer. And he clears it down the middle. But that one goes straight through to Duffy. And then he heads it back towards his goalkeeper. So as it stands now, Brentford are struggling now, but has a long clearance from the goalkeeper, and this time Raya had to rush out of his goal, because that's something that Brentford have tried a couple of times, with Raya sending long balls to try and start an attack. On this occasion, it was the Brighton keeper Sanchez that tried to pick out Trossard, but goalkeeper Raya did well to get on the end of that. Bissouma now under pressure from Rico Henry, and that's an easy free kick decision there for the referee Graham Scott. As Rico Henry was tripping Yves Bissouma there. Free kick now to Brighton and Hove Albion. As we saw there, Bissouma just trying to shield that ball away from Henry. Basically gave Henry a choice. You either let me turn with the ball or run straight into me and give me a free kick, and that's what Henry went for. Long ball down towards Danny Welbeck. Welbeck at the edge of the area, gets past Canos, but he can't get past Ajer. And that is put out for a corner kick. So a good chance now for Brighton from this set piece. And in fact, it's just gone out to the wrong side of the corner flag as far as Brighton are concerned. So it is just a throw. Cucurella now with the throw, gets it back from Bissouma. Bissouma gets the ball from Cucurella, then plays it all the way across towards Joel Veltman. Veltman out wide towards the right-hand side now. Ball cross put in, headed away by Pontus Jansson. Ball now ends up with Bissouma, who plays it back towards the halfway line, looking for Shane Duffy, and now Cucurella down the left-hand side. We have a second goal in the Premier League this afternoon in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. It's Newcastle with an equaliser at Old Trafford. They're hogging all the goals in the 3 o'clocks at the moment. That game at Old Trafford is a free kick now to Brentford at the edge of the area. Shane Duffy very unhappy with that decision from the referee. It was Javier Manquillo, by the way, that gave Newcastle the equaliser. But Brentford will be quite happy with that free kick at the edge of their own box. It just gives them that a little bit more time to just compose themselves. They take a long free kick this time, headed on by Tony. It's a good header as well for Mbeumo to chase. But that one is with Cucurella now, and he's able to play the ball back towards Robert Sanchez, being closed down here by Mbeumo. But Sanchez still with time to clear this down the middle. The ball then drops just inside here, and it's sliding in there to try and win that one back was Janet, but Bissouma does really well to stay in possession. Plays it over towards the left-hand side for Cucurella, who's got Welbeck ahead of him. Welbeck, sells a lovely dummy and leaves Canos for dead. Welbeck now heading towards the edge of the penalty area. Plays it square now to Lallana. Lallana over towards the right-hand side. It's Veltman's ball in, which is over-hit. And then Canos controls that one before clearing it off Cucurella. Does well in the end there, Canos, to win his side a goal kick and just to negate all the danger. But it was Canos initially who was completely sold there by Danny Welbeck. It's almost like a trick you see in the school playground, where the fast kid just plays the ball into space and knows that if he goes into a foot race, he's always going to win it against the slow kid. And that's precisely what happened there. I mean, Canos isn't exactly slow, but Welbeck really able to just motor away from him. Disappointing cross from Veltman in the end. Brighton would have liked to have done more with that, but Brentford in possession now after a long clearance from Raya, and Tony is off, and the referee is going to allow play to go on here. No, he's not. Well, it's one of those where the referee has given a free kick in favour of Brentford. Brentford will be happy with the free kick because it's in an attacking position, but actually they probably would have preferred to have the advantage there. But in the end, it is a yellow card for Joel Veltman, and he can't complain because the referee's been warning him since the first half that he's already on a knife edge as far as the booking is concerned. Goes into the back of Ivan Toney with no attempt to play the ball, so there's absolutely no way he can argue that that shouldn't be a free kick. And I'm quite surprised actually at the level of passion from players like Lallana and Bissouma there defending their teammates. To me it seemed like the most obvious foul there. No attempt to play the ball, grabbed his opponent by the shoulders and pushed him to the ground. So say almost a dictionary definition of a foul there really. But in any case it is a free kick to Brentford now. And it's just probably a couple of yards too far away to think about a shot. Brighton have got a two-man wall. Robert Sanchez doesn't want to take any chances here. He's just waiting to see where his teammates have positioned themselves, just beckoning that two-man wall over slightly more to the right-hand side as the goalkeeper. He wants that near post covered. That's what Sanchez is trying to do. It's a quick free kick taken by Mbeumo over towards Canos, who then lifts the ball into the box. It's headed down, but it bounces harmlessly into the goalkeeper's hands. Initially it looked like a promising move, but now this could be a very promising move as Sanchez bowls that one out very quickly, trying to find Trossard. He just gets stopped by the last Brentford defender, but Brighton still have the ball alive here down the left-hand side. It's Cucurella getting towards the edge of the penalty. Has got two to aim for in the box. The cross is straight towards Rico Henry, who heads it across his own penalty area before Sergi Canos sweeps up here for Brentford, plays the ball down the right-hand side. That's really good play from Mbeumo initially to shield the ball away from Modder, but then Dunk is there covering. Lewis Dunk makes sure there won't be any quick counter-attack for Brentford on this occasion. And it is going to be a throw to Brentford now down the right-hand side. It's been a far more defensive start from Brentford this season, not just this match in particular, but compared to their very attacking style that we saw in the Championship. I suppose it's no surprise they have to be a little bit more defence-minded. But now there's a really good chance here, and this is going to be a booking for Shane Duffy, because Duffy has to stop the man here. The ball was played through the middle. Brentford are just trying to speed things up a little bit, and as the ball was played through the middle, it gets through towards Mbeumo. It's a good ball there from Henry to find Mbeumo, and as he's turning, Duffy gets none of the ball there at all. But I don't think you'll mind too much, in so much that it's not a particularly aggressive foul. It's a guaranteed booking, but it's a free kick, maybe even 40 yards out. So certainly it's not something that Brentford are going to be shooting from, and it just means that it does give Brighton a little bit of time to try and get that defence organised. I think if Duffy wasn't there, then Mbeumo almost would have had a free run to goal. And that certainly could have been a lot more serious for Brighton. So it's almost a carbon copy. The free kick that we saw a couple of moments ago for Brentford, pretty much from the same spot now, maybe a couple of yards further out. Both teams now with two players in the book, Mbeumo and Canos for Brentford, Veltman and Duffy for Brighton. Mbeumo now takes this free kick, floats it to the back post. Pinnock with the header. The ball is taken down. The referee is stopping play for a foul on Cucurella. Brentford players a little bit unhappy about this, but it's actually the Brighton players that are more unhappy. They feel as though perhaps there should be a card coming out here for the foul. We'll see from the replay. I think it's Pontus Jansson. I mean, you could argue that Pontus Jansson is standing still. Cucurella runs into him and hits his face and then falls over. I didn't actually see anything that Pontus Jansson did wrong there, but it is a free kick to Brighton. Mads Roslev is getting ready to come on for Brentford. He can sort of play in a defensive midfield or a wide right role, so we'll see exactly where Thomas Frank is thinking of putting him. A long clearance now from Robert Sanchez, headed back by Danny Welbeck, but the ball drops to Shandon Baptiste, and now Vitaly Janelt goes to Rico Henry, who plays it early down the left-hand side, looking for Brian Mbeumo. He's been marked by Shane Duffy, and Mbeumo back to Rico Henry. Henry's ball into the box, good header away by Lewis Dunk, and the ball bounces out for a throw to Brentford down the left-hand side. Rico Henry leaves this one though for Ethan Pinnock. Can tell you we've got another goal in the Premier League this afternoon. It's Leicester City 0, Manchester City 1. Bernardo Silva with the goal for Manchester City. Thomas Frank just getting some final instructions out to Mads Roslev. We know that Ethan Pinnock does have a long throw, but Brentford do like to use this as a sort of diversion tactic where Pinnock steps forward to take a long throw, then he ends up taking a short throw anyway. So we'll see if the former Barnsley man is actually planning on sending it long. He is sending it long this time. It's into the penalty area. It's headed up in the air at the edge of the 6-yard box. Fighting to keep that ball alive for Brentford And played back towards Henry. Henry lifts the ball into the penalty area. And that one is easily saved by Robert Sanchez, who doesn't waste any time. Rolls it out quickly to Adam Lallana, but his pass is blocked. And Brentford can try and keep their move alive as Tony goes down after a challenger from Dunk. And the ball is eventually out for a throw to Brentford, who are thinking of making a change now. Mads Roslev is ready to come on. Just waiting to see whether Ivan Toney's in a bit of trouble here. He's down on the ground. Looking to be in a bit of bother, but Sergi Canos on a yellow card, and he's been beaten a couple of times by Danny Welbeck. I think that perhaps Thomas Frank is looking at this and thinking that really he does actually need a more bespoke defender on that right-hand side this afternoon. So Mads Roslev, part of the large Danish camp at Brentford that I mentioned, he's on the field now. Can tell you as well that Arsenal have just taken the lead at home to Norwich City. A must-win game that for Arsenal. If Arsenal fail to beat Norwich today, I think really you could start to count Arteta's days. But as it stands, it looks as though Arsenal taking the lead against Norwich. If they can get 3 points, then that'll take a bit of the pressure off Mikel Arteta. Brentford now just in a bit of an ascendancy in the last few minutes, albeit just in midfield. They haven't really been able to do much inside the penalty area, but they've won the ball back now on the halfway line. Ivan Toney under pressure from Leandro Trossard. Plays the ball back to David Raya. Raya then going short to Janel. Back towards Ethan Pinnock. Now it's with Rico Henry down the left-hand side. Henry just looking for options. Plays it in now towards Christian Norgard. Norgard back to Janel. Brentford comfortable in possession, but a long way from Brighton's goal at this stage. The first touch of the ball here for Mads Roslev, and then Christian Norgard plays a very hopeful ball down that right-hand side, which will just get straight through towards the goalkeeper Robert Sanchez. It was Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang that had given Arsenal the lead against Norwich. This long clearance from Sanchez goes straight through towards David Raya. So one Spanish goalkeeper clears the ball straight to the other one on the field. Danny Welbeck was chasing after that long clearance from Sanchez. He hit the deck in midfield, looked back towards the referee Graham Scott like he was expecting a free kick, but nothing doing now. Welbeck perhaps is asking for a yellow card. He crashes into Christopher Ager just as he was playing the ball away, and Graham Scott wanders over. It doesn't seem to be too annoyed here with Welbeck, so it may well be that it's just going to be a warning here for the Brighton front man, but it's on there. And again, there's not too much contact. It's not like he's kicked Ager, he's just sort of bumped into him. But Welbeck getting a telling off from the referee. And he's looking a little bit frustrated there, Danny Welbeck. Referee just trying to calm him down. The 5 fouls committed by Brentford in the match so far. 12 fouls are committed by Brighton. But Brentford just have one player on the field now with a yellow card following that substitution, with Canos going off to be replaced by Mads Roslev. Brighton now making a tactical change here. They were forced to bring on Modder in the first half after that injury to Webster, but now Danny Welbeck has run his race for this afternoon. He is off to be replaced by the Argentinian Alexis McAllister. So McAllister is on the field now for Brighton. He's got just under half an hour, and he's scored a couple of goals off the bench in his time at the Amex already, so we'll be looking for another one of those this afternoon. It's a long clearance now, which is headed down by Ivan Toney, and there's some space here down the left now for Rico Henry. Breaking into the box, fires one across the goalkeeper, but it's a good save from Sanchez. He sort of palmed the ball up in the air, almost like a volleyball player, just to kill a bit of the sting before he caught the ball in the end. And Sanchez now waiting for his teammates to fan out a bit. So it seems like both teams have abandoned the short pass playing out from the back, in favour of trying to clear it long. By the way, Manchester United are 2-1 up against Newcastle, and I suppose there's no prizes for guessing who's got United's second goal. It's the same gentleman that got the first. So Ronaldo starting with a pretty impressive start at Old Trafford second time round. As Brighton on the attack now with Maupay, gets to the edge of the area, strikes it, but he rushed the shot a little bit there, Neil Maupay. Nice bit of combination play there with Leandro Trossard. Rushed that shot with the left foot and drags it wide in the end. Do wonder how Mopé would react if he was to get a goal here against Brentford. He was certainly a popular player while he was here, and it would be one of those where potentially he would probably feel as though it's a big goal that he would get here for Brighton to give them the 3 points. But as I say, Mopé isn't afraid to get in the face of opposition players, opposition fans. So certainly if there was any booing for Mopé, I'm sure he would try and use that as a fuel for his fire. Meanwhile, Brighton just starting to see a little bit more of the ball in these last few minutes. It's with Yves Bissouma now. Over towards the right-hand side for Shane Duffy. He looks up and switches play over to the left. Plenty of space here for Cucurella. Cucurella inside now towards Leandro Trossard. Back to Cucurella now, looking at options here. One of them is Modder, but no route into the penalty area here for Brighton. They're having to go back towards the halfway line. Now the ball into Bissouma. Bissouma's cross into the box, headed away by Christian Norgard. Whose ball is with Bissouma again on the left. Plays it back now towards the halfway line for Lewis Dunk. So after that little spell there where Brighton was starting to just be pushed back a little bit into their own half, it responded well here. Just nothing too elaborate, but just calm possession, not too many risky passes, just trying to catch Brentford out. They're still trying the long ball from the goal kick, and this one gets through to Mopé. Now Cucurella back towards Bissouma. Bissouma under pressure, does well to roll the ball in towards Mopé. He then plays it back towards Lallana. Under pressure from Ivan Toney, who's having to play almost like a midfielder here in these last few minutes, with Brentford seeing so little of the ball. Now Veltman down the right-hand side, looking for the run of, looking for the run of McAllister. That's good work though from Pinnock. He wins the ball back for Brentford without even having to slide in. Toney now back heels the ball for Baptiste. Baptiste though stopped in his tracks. The loose ball is swept up by Christian Norgard. The Bees are still in possession. They just crossed the halfway line now with Brian Mbeumo. Does really well there, Mbeumo, getting away from a couple of players before hitting the deck, going down but not being fouled, says the referee. But now there is a foul from Vitaly Janelt on the halfway line. Look too happy with that decision there, the Brentford midfielder. There's going to be a change here now for the Bees with Matthias Jensen, Danish international, coming on here to replace, it looks like it's going to be Janelt in midfield. So from a popular player here, Janelt, since arriving. But just hasn't really been able to get into the match as much. They have certainly mentioned Janelt a few times, but as a central midfielder, I'd like to have been just that little bit more involved at times, so perhaps some fresh legs now in central midfield. Interesting that both changes that Brentford have made have been in their midfield, with Canos replaced by Roslev and Janelt replaced by Jensen. Brighton's changes have been more attack-minded, with Modder coming on for Webster in the first half, just to change the tactics and make Brighton a bit more open to go forward. And then just now we've seen a swap of a forward with Welbeck replaced by Alexis McAllister. Can tell you that it is Watford 0, Wolves 1. Just waiting for confirmation of the goal scorer. But Wolves are leading away at Vicarage Road. But Watford started with that impressive win against Aston Villa. Just struggled to get into form since then, really. As, the ball now is with Yves Bissouma. Back now towards Shane Duffy. Actually an own goal. Centre-back Francisco Sierralta has scored an own goal for Wolves to give them the lead away at Vicarage Road. That game is about 5-6 minutes ahead of ours. We're only at 69 minutes here. They're at 74 in that game. But the ball is now back at the edge of the Brighton penalty area. Dunk with the ball out to Cucurella. Cucurella plays it in now towards McAllister, but the ball is just a little bit too strong, and the goalkeeper Raya comes all the way out of his penalty area, but he does well, finds Roslev, and then Roslev's ball towards the halfway line, taken down by Mbeumo. Baptiste plays it square now towards Rico Henry. Henry's off down the left-hand side, ball through towards Baptiste, and Mbeumo and Toney waiting inside the penalty area. Rico Henry now being stopped by two Brighton players, Veltman and Dunk. Now the strike coming in from a long way out. It's an optimistic effort there from Shandon Baptiste. Saw his chance to try and get a right-footed curling effort into the top corner. Perhaps it wasn't the right thing to do, considering that there were still quite a few Brentford players in and around the box. It wasn't a bad effort from Baptiste. It wasn't that far away at all. It's going to be a goal kick to Brighton now. 20 minutes to go here, 70th minute. It is goalless between Brentford and Brighton. Bees now just trying to win the ball back in midfield. Like the home side just starting to lose that grip on the And it was unlucky for Mbeumo. It was a good ball from Tony to find Mbeumo inside the penalty area. It just got away from Mbeumo as he was breaking into the box. Couldn't get a strike away, and now it's Brighton in possession down the right-hand side with Joel Veltman. But the Bees pressing here, making it difficult for Brighton to play out from the back. It's gone all the way back now towards Robert Sanchez. Sanchez plays it in towards Cucurella. It's with these Bissouma. Cucurella again inside to Bissouma. Ball now with Adam Lallana. It's Brighton looking to try and get forward down the right-hand side this time. Ball back in towards Lallana. He quickly switches play over towards the left. And there's space here for Cucurella down the left-hand side. Jensen is back covering. Ball now with Alexis McAllister. Back in towards Bissouma. Bissouma now plays it in towards McAllister. Oh, that's a reckless challenge there. Referee allows play to go on, but that's going to be a booking for Pontus Jansson all day long. Jansson was that, we'll just confirm in a minute which one of the two the centre-backs it was. But Brighton in the meantime on the attack, and it's Trossard who breaks into the box. 3 Brentford players surround him. He goes back towards Bissouma. Bissouma then lifts the ball into the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's a good save in the end from David Raya. Just stops the ball momentarily. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not the referee wants to think about a yellow card. It was a very strong challenge there, and it was Ajer that went straight through Alexis McAllister. I'm quite surprised, really, considering what we've seen yellow cards for already in this match, that the referee didn't book Ajer for that one. But Brentford making a bit of a mess of playing out from the back. A short ball down the left-hand side from Tony. Doesn't get through towards Rico Henry. So it is a throw to Brighton now down the right-hand side. Joel Veltman. Waiting to see where his teammates are. McAllister is the closest Brighton player. He's also got Lallana and Bissouma within range. And, arriving now over on the right-hand side, getting towards the penalty area, was Neil Mopé. Mopé kept the ball in play somehow. It looked like he was already running out of space, but all he could do was get across him, which is quickly cleared by Christian Norgard. Ball on the halfway line, though, doesn't help Brentford at all. It's Bissouma wins it back for Brighton, and he goes back towards Robert Sanchez. Halfway line now for Brighton with Lewis Dunk. Looks up to see where his teammates are. Cucurella now back to Dunk. 74 minutes gone, still goalless between Brentford and Brighton and Hove Albion. Still no change. It's still goalless between Southampton and West Ham. And in fact, that game and our game is the only ones that are still goalless. But Brighton now doing what they can to try and change that, as a long ball is played towards Leandro Trossard, who is in an offside position. So that's the end of that particular attack as far as Brighton are concerned. We're getting a third replay now of this foul from Christopher Ajer. And I must admit, I still can't believe he didn't get booked for it. Doesn't take too much of the man, but it was clumsy in the way he slid in. And as I say, the referee, considering what he's already booked players for Quite surprised he got away with that one, but in the meantime, it's a substitution for Brentford. Shandon Baptiste is off, and Frank Onyeka, who's going to become a popular figure here at the Brentford Community Stadium. He's on now. These final 15 minutes plus injury time. Brentford have made 3 changes now, with Onyeka, Jensen and Roslev coming on. Brighton have still left themselves 1 change. Moda and McAllister have been their 2 substitutes so far. Matthias Jensen, one of the Brentford substitutes, in possession in midfield. 2 Brighton players closing him down. He goes back to Norgard, who's under real pressure. Norgard fighting to keep the ball alive. He is dispossessed. He wasn't fouled. And now it's Brighton that can go on a counter-attack. Here is Leandro Trossard, brought down but not fouled by Onyeka, says the referee. Although Jensen loses the ball almost immediately. And here is Neil Maupay now for Brighton. Leaves it here for McAllister. Back over towards the right-hand side for Veltman. Back to McAllister again. It's with Leandro Trossard. To spin away, leaves that ball back on the halfway line for Veltman. And now at the edge of the area, it's with Bissouma to Trossard. He gets closed down. McAllister's ball into the box, gets a slight deflection, but it drops to Roslev. And he's able to clear that ball up towards the halfway line. Taken down by Veltman, and Brighton comes straight back again. A cross coming in, gets a big deflection. It's out for a throw. So it's going to be another chance here now for Brighton. Just starting to look a little bit more confident on the ball now. It's Brentford who have pushed back inside their own half, really struggling to have an outlet here, as this one is cleared by Rico Henry, but it was just a clearance. Certainly couldn't call that a pass. And the ball is now back with the goalkeeper Robert Sanchez, which is just looking for options. It's short, and now have Brentford given themselves a chance here? Well, no, the referee is going to give a free kick here against the Bees. Looked like Adam Lallana was caught in possession by Onyeka. And the referee also felt as though Onyeka just put a little bit too much on Adam Lallana, so that was a free kick. Now it's been taken quickly. Brighton pushing forward here with Leandro Trossard. Trossard playing it back towards the halfway line. Just looking for options. Bruno Fernandes, by the way, has potentially wrapped up the points for Manchester United. They now lead 3-1 against Newcastle after Ronaldo's brace. Alexis McAllister, meanwhile, back here at the Brentford Community Stadium. His strike from just outside the box goes wide of the post. And that will be a goal kick to Brentford. I was always getting to that one had it been on target, but it's just dragged wide in the end by Alexis McAllister. In fact, no, I take back what I just said. There was a slight deflection. There must have been, because referee has given a corner. I must admit, I've seen 2 replays. I couldn't see that deflection, but it is a corner kick. So, great chance here now for the visitors from the set piece. Cucurella is standing over the corner. He's a left footer from the right-hand side. It could be an in-swinger. Short corner in the end, which is blocked, and then finally a lofty ball into the box is easily saved by Raya, who then clears it early, looking for Mbeumo. And Mbeumo there. Oh, Mbeumo's going to be in trouble here. Mbeumo's already had a yellow card, and the referee is wandering across. Mbeumo there trying to apologise to Veltman, and Veltman's not complaining. I mean, a couple of the Brighton players were saying, come on, ref, that should be a second yellow. But Veltman himself is saying, no, that's fine. And it looks like referee Graham Scott is of a similar view. The ball bounced off Mbeumo's left foot, and Veltman is ducking into it a little bit. And I wouldn't say that Mbeumo's foot is particularly high or reckless, so I'm sure quite a few Brentford fans got a bit nervous there with him already being on a yellow. But in the end, a free kick with no booking was enough as far as the referee was concerned. So the visitors have taken it short, and now a long ball fired towards Neil Maupay, but he won't get on the end of that one. He's out for a throw. Brighton getting ready to make their third change. It's going to be left-footed midfielder Solly March getting ready to come on for Graham Potter's side. Just trying to think, would that be for Cucurella, perhaps to try and introduce a bit more of an attacking player on that left-hand side, or would it be for Trossard maybe to have somebody with a left foot in the attack? I'm not too sure exactly what Graham Potter is thinking, who he's thinking of changing, but we'll see in the next minute or so, as Brighton Once again on the attack here, Adam Lallana finds a Cucurella down the left-hand side. He then plays the ball in, back towards Lallana. Now cross coming into the penalty area, headed away by Pontus Jansson. It's on the halfway line now with Lewis Dunk. He's under real pressure, but he's still able to get that ball into Adam Lallana. And Lallana now just looking up, waiting to see where his teammates are. Doesn't want to risk a long ball and decides to just play it back towards Shane Duffy. Played even further back now towards Robert Sanchez. This game at times has had glimmers of promise that we're going to start seeing some more attacking football, but it really has been one of those where the two teams have cancelled each other out, and I'm sure that both managers would argue that they've had moments in this game where they could have put themselves in front, but it's just a lack of cohesion up front really for both teams. That killer pass into the box just has been lacking for both teams, but Brighton now on the attack down the right with Leandro Trossard. This is cleared away back into midfield. It's with Cucurella now for Brighton. Inside towards Danny Welbeck. Welbeck now finding Lallana. He looks over towards the right-hand side, finds Veltman. Mope gets that ball from Veltman, but he's already under pressure from Jensen, having to go back to Joel Veltman again. And Brentford, to their credit, are making it difficult for Brighton to play. They can't get any of the possession at the moment, Brentford, but at least they're not allowing Brighton too many easy runs into the box. Ball now down the left, goes straight out for a throw. And the substitution now for Brighton. It is going to be Cucurella, so there is a bit more of an attack-minded player now on that left-hand side for the final minutes of this game. Solly March on for Cucurella. Potter has used all three of his substitutions now, as has Thomas Frank. Just down to the players on the field now to try and get a winner here. Brentford unbeaten since their arrival in the Premier League with a win and 2 draws, but it's been an excellent start in the season from Brighton. I would feel as though the match is just starting to swing more in their favour now in these last 5 minutes or so. It's Brentford who are now really struggling to get out of their own half. Cameron just focusing on Ivan Toney, mainly because he's not seen much of the ball in the second half, as the ball is played in now towards Leandro Trossard at the edge of the Brentford penalty area. Plays it back towards Solly March. His first touch of the ball. March just gets stopped on the line before the ball is put out for a throw. Chance for Brighton to maintain this pressure on the Brentford penalty area. Now we're going back towards the halfway line here. Lewis Dunk. The pressure from Mbuemo plays this back towards Robert Sanchez, who's wandered a long way out from his own penalty area. For clearing this one down the left, taken down here by Solly March. March back in now towards Bissouma. And Bissouma now playing this across towards Adam Lallana. He's got options ahead of him here, Lallana. One of those is with Veltman. Back to Lallana. And then in the end, he plays the ball all the way through towards Shane Duffy, who thought about playing it long, looking for Mope, but he just decided to play a quick ball towards Adam Lallana. Now it's on the left-hand side with Solly March. March taking on Roslev, and Roslev does well, puts the ball out for a throw. But Roslev playing dumb there. He didn't know that it was a Brighton throw, so he quite deliberately didn't give the ball back to his opposite number until he was sure that his teammates were back in front of goal. But here is Bissouma now at the edge of the Brentford penalty area. 3 Brentford players closing him down. He plays his square to Lallana, who floats the ball into the box. Header from Ager, and then Roslev does well just to deflect that ball off Modder, and it's out for a goal kick. He was a bit unhappy there, I think, with one of his teammates not getting that pass as quickly as he would have liked. Clearance now from Raya. Taken down here by Mbeumo. Now it's with Rico Henry heading towards the edge of the penalty area. Just forced to leave that one for Jensen. Now it's with Norgard. Jensen again a long way out from goal now, back towards Ethan Pinnock. And Pinnock plays it square over towards the right hand side now for Roslev. Roslev lifts the ball into the box. It's headed up in the air. Second chance now maybe for Henry. But the ball just gets away from him. It's Matthias Jensen from Brentford now. Puts across into the 6-yard box. Headed away by Shane Duffy. Ball still at the edge of the box as both sets of players jump for it. It's Norgard that wins the header, but then it's clearance from Dunk down the left-hand side out for a throw. So Brentford now perhaps looking to try and just turn up the pressure here in these last few moments as Roslev throws that one in towards Tony. Roslev gets it back. Tony now down the right-hand side. He needs to get into the box, really. See where his teammates are. It's a great little run this, though, from Roslev. He darts into the box, but has also good play from Bissouma. Just to make sure that ball gets cleared away. Held up on the halfway line now by Leandro Trossard. He's got 3 players ahead of him. That's really good play, though, from Trossard. Gets towards the edge of the area. Good challenge there. In the end from Onyeka. 3.5 minutes to go, plus injury time. There'll still be a little bit of injury time in this second half. There might be a little bit less actually than in the first. Had 4 minutes and then a few seconds on top of that added by Graham Scott. Just wondering whether or not it might be a slightly shorter injury time period at the end of this game. It's been a tough match to watch at times. It's been a fascinating match at times as well. Both teams having these moments where they believe that they can score and take the lead against their opposition, but there have also been spells in this match where they have just cancelled each other out. As here is Rico Henry now pushing forward for Brentford down the left-hand side, puts a cross in, which gets a deflection off Joel Veltman, and it's out for a corner kick. So after a long spell of Brighton having possession outside the Brentford box, it's the turn of the Bees to have a set piece, try and win this match late on. Corner kick is from the left-hand side, and right-footed Matthias Jensen is standing over this one. Mbeumo's quite close up, but I think that Mbeumo needs to be closer to the penalty area. Really, this is all part of a short corner kick routine. It is a short corner kick routine. Jensen to Mbeumo, then the ball then played towards the edge of the box, floated into the penalty area, and the ball is cleared. It was perhaps Brentford just being a little bit too over-elaborate there, but they get the ball back straight away in midfield. Brighton are struggling to heat possession now, and it's down the right-hand side. They're asking for handball there, Brentford. Referee Graham Scott not interested. And then Brighton now with the chance to go on the counter as Alexis McAllister holds the ball up, leaves it for Mope. Mope then playing it back towards March. March switching play over towards the right-hand side now for Veltman. And the Veltman into Bissouma. Back over towards the right-hand side. Peters slowly edging forward again here. Desperate to try and steal all 3 points here late on. I'm not sure if you could call it a steal actually. I suppose if either team won now it would be great on their part, but would it be a steal? I think both teams would argue they probably had their moments in this match. Certainly Brentford ending the first half in a very rich vein, but then perhaps not doing enough to follow that up in the second. The possession stats is 41 to 59% in favour of Brighton. Just a minute to go until we hit injury time now, as the visitors slowly edging forward now with Yves Bissouma. Fires a great ball into the box. That's a good challenge there from Janssen to stop it, but the loose ball ends up with Solly March over on the left-hand side. March's ball also cleared by Janssen, and it is out for a throw to Brighton now down the left-hand side with Solly March. Back to McAllister, playing a quick 1-2. McAllister at the edge of the area, then finds Trossard. Trossard with the strike, and it's in the back of the net. with 30 seconds of play left here at the Brentford Community Stadium. It's Brighton that are going to take all 3 points. It's a fantastic finish from Trossard. They gave him too much time at the edge of the box, and he was able to put an excellent right-footed curling effort into the bottom corner, and that is going to be 3 points for Brighton. You have to say that. It's not going to be enough time here for Brentford. Brighton have been well organised in this game when it was 0-0, and now the final seconds of regulation play. Trossard, it's a great strike from Trossard, but they gave him just that little bit too much time. Brentford have done well at the edge of the box for most of the game, but McAllister, just with a bit of pace, ends up at the edge of the box, finds Trossard, who's just able to drag that ball along the edge of the penalty area. He was supposedly being marked. In fact, he wasn't being marked. Brentford players were a bit slow to get to Trossard, and it really is a great finish. Janssen with a last-ditch effort there to try and stop that hitting the back of the net, but it's not to be. There's all kinds of pushing and shoving now as well on the halfway line, which I don't think is necessary. I mean, I've not seen, because we were getting 3 replays of the goal, I haven't seen what the problem is here. Is this to do with the usual handbags that one team don't want to give the ball back to the other team because they don't want to let them kick off too quickly? I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. We haven't seen. I mean, Neil Maupay is looking really angry there. I'm not entirely sure what his problem is, but 4 minutes of injury time, and is that enough time for Brentford to try and save a point? Just think the way this match is going, wouldn't like to predict that right now. And we are back underway. Ball back over with Ethan Pinnock now to Rico Henry. It's now whenever for Brentford if they're going to try and save a point in this game. It was a very good strike from Trossard, but now Henry with the ball to the edge of the area, taken down by Onyeko, just loses the ball. It's a goal scorer Trossard that takes it off him, and he fires the ball towards Neil Maupay, who just gets stopped, and the ball back with David Raya now. Raya to Matthias Jensen. It's now towards the right-hand side here for Mads Roslev. Roslev then holds it up before playing it back in towards Pontus Janssen. Janssen couldn't find a long ball, just strides forward himself before trying to get a long ball. That's not good. That's just a bit of a wasted ball in the end from the Bees captain. And the Brighton supporters there in that corner of the field where they're defending in this second half, they'll be very pleased. They would have got a good view of that from the other end to see how Trossard had given them the 3 points. Got 90 seconds of injury time still to play here. Throw on to Brighton down the right hand side, level with the edge of their own penalty area. It's a long ball up towards the halfway line, taken down by Pinnock. Plays it back to Raya. Now looking up to see what options he might have. Long clearance from him, headed up by, there's a good header as well by Tony. Tony still on the left here, back in towards Matthias Jensen. Jensen's cross is charged down. Roslev is chasing the loose ball. He does win the challenge, but the ball is still played away. And now a chance here for Solimarch as he finds Neil Maupay. Maupay just holds it up on the halfway line before playing this one back towards Lewis Dunk, but really the visitors now quite naturally, as you would expect, are just slowing things down, not trying to do too much. Ball now played square inside. And, it's back now towards the left as the ball is played through towards David Raya. Long clearance really rather than a pass there to Trossard. And with just a few seconds left, can Brentford get one more long ball towards the Brighton penalty area? Well, they can't because they've already been stopped on the halfway line here. Pinnock is robbed of the ball, and suddenly it's a 3-on-3 as Bissouma brings the ball forward. He finds Trossard. Trossard with a tight angle tries to play it square towards Maupay. It deflects back, and Trossard trying to shield the ball out from making sure it can go out for a corner kick. It does go out for a corner kick. So that is going to be game, set and match as far as Brighton are concerned, because by the time the corner kick is taken and the ball is cleared, well, we're going to have at least a 5th minute of injury time. There certainly won't be any more time now for Brentford to try and get the ball up the other end. And the fact that Brighton haven't got a single player inside the Bees penalty area tells you how the visitors are planning on taking this set piece. It's just a case of killing a few seconds of play. as the ball goes out for another corner. And really, I think the referee has just decided he's going to play the full additional minute on top of the 4 that we've already seen. Trossard now standing over this corner kick, takes it to Mopé, who then rolls it off Jensen and wins his side a 3rd corner kick in a row. Brentford have got to try and do something here to break this up, but it won't make much of a difference now with so little time left in the game. No time left in the game. Referee Graham Scott calls time here at the Brentford Community Stadium, and after a tough 0-0 with both sides struggling to break each other down, Brighton certainly looked the more expansive in possession at the start of the match, and they looked more expansive during periods in the second half as well. And in the end, that late winner from Leandro Trossard gives Brighton all 3 points. It's finished at Brentford 0, Brighton and Hove Albion 1.